some massive success. So one, if you guys are not familiar with results driven and what we are about, I want to share with you guys that at results driven, we are focused on creating a predictable experience through accountability with an industry leading process to produce game changing leaders and get results. And I want to bring two guys on today that are getting massive results. So if this is something, if you guys are interested in hearing more about our program, shoot me a DM. But without further ado, I want to introduce Dan and Drew, who recently joined our small group program, and they're seeing a ton of success right now. And I want to bring them on. If you can bring them on to the live. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Here we go. We're all messed up here.
Is this you guys' first time on StreamYard?
Yes. Yeah. So sorry about that.
Oh, dude, you guys are good. I think you're coming in loud and clear. So I appreciate you guys hopping on. And man, I wanted to, again, I want you guys to share a little bit about some of the mindset. I'm going to ask some questions, some probing questions, but man, you guys joined the small group, what, like less than a month ago? I think it was June 1st was like the first day, and you guys have been crushing it. And I wanted to talk about some of the breakthroughs that you guys had and things of that nature. So let's dive into it. I mean, what was the deal volume that you guys have been doing, just this year on like an average monthly basis? If you don't mind just sharing like a baseline of where you guys were, and then we'll kind of get into more of some of the breakthroughs.
Yeah. So this year didn't start out so hot. Last year we actually did 89 deals. This year we struggled a little bit. At the end of last year, we got some bad data actually, and ended up changing up my marketing pretty considerably. So, once we did that, it was just a struggle ever since. And literally, to the point where it was like, what are we even doing? So this year we were doing what, probably 4 to 6 a month. Yeah. Up to this point. And for a lot of people, that'd be incredible. But for the team that we had built, we were already set to go. We were ready to roll. It was a matter of just having those right couple little tweaks. But yeah.
Yeah. And to your point there, when you set the bar at 89 deals from last year, it's hard to take that back, it's like, right, this is the new standard. How do we grow upon this? Right. So yeah, no, I appreciate you guys sharing that. And then I know, so here in the last, not even 30 days, in the last 27 days, this month alone, you guys have 16 deals in contract, or has it grown since I last heard? I don't know.
We have 15 with another one out to be signed that hopefully is wrapped up today.
Dude, that is awesome. That is awesome. Well, if you guys don't mind sharing with me, what are some of the things that you guys implemented right out of the gate when you guys first got started with the program?
Everything.
Yeah.
So I remember, I think it was day 2 of the 2-day event that you guys hold. And I get this elbow and I look over at Dan and he's like, "Can you do this?" And without even hesitating, I'm like, "Absolutely." But he says, "If we do this, we're going to have to do all of it." And I'm like, "All right, let's go." So not only did we adopt the sales process in full, we adopted the hours. We even adopted the pay. I just had to come home and sell it. And as you can see, I think we were able to do that.
Well, yeah, seeing is believing, right? And I think as soon as you guys started to see some traction, I'm sure any doubt whatsoever probably went through the door. But that's interesting. So you guys actually took on our hours, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. From my perspective, I've been part of, several different masterminds and all types of different programs and coaching and this and that. And we've always kind of cobbled it together and, taken a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because that's what everybody says you do. But then we've always, we did a lot last year, but that was, caveman clubbing it over the head style. So once I saw it, I was like, listen, this is it. Like, it's all or nothing. Like, we're not going to take home half of it and do half of it and, cobble this together like we've done in the past and then fall short and get frustrated and all that stupid stuff. Honestly, the big takeaway that was We just listened.
Okay. Well,
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's crazy to hear that, because a lot of people, you know, we just overthink and we're
100%.
paralyzed. It's almost like we have analysis paralysis. You know, we overthink the process. And the reality is that the roadmap, the framework is there. That's what we're providing for you guys. It's just a matter of taking action on the direction that we're giving you. And you guys have done exactly that. And now you guys are reaping the benefits of that, which is really cool to see. And I love seeing your guys' success. So I know you guys talked about some of the hours. You talked about taking on the sales process. So it sounds like just overall more structure in place is what has really allowed you guys to put basically these guardrails in place when we said, hey, this is where we operate, and we're going to go 110 miles an hour within these boundaries. And we're going to reach, we're going to reach our goal the fastest way we possibly can. But this is the structure that we're staying within in order to get there. So that's really cool. I know you guys talked about the sales process, but what do you think led or contributed most to some of your early success here? Can you just list like 2 things that you can think of right out the gate that's really contributed here in the last 4 weeks since you guys have come on?
Yeah. So number one would be making our time as efficient as possible. So going from literally just in-person appointments only to now we're maximizing our time in the office. We're now no longer dealing with a lot of people that aren't that motivated. Going for no is a huge mindset shift for us, which would probably be the second part to your question. And now that it's almost like we're looking for the opportunity to go for no, it's become the norm to where we can now spend more time with people that actually want to sell their property.
Yeah, you know, that's actually interesting you bring that up. Knowing and understanding what is truly a qualified opportunity and spending our time with the right people. I see a lot of people in our space. I'm glad you brought this up. I see a lot of people in our space who don't quite understand what is worth our time and what isn't. And because they waste their time with all of the wrong people, especially in a situation like you guys, where you were going out to people's houses. If you don't understand if they're qualified or not before you got to their house, I mean, that's a huge time suck. Because I mean, it takes 2 hours for you to go out to a house, have an appointment. By the time you get back to the office, you know, there's only so much time in a day that you can go and have those appointments. And if you're wasting it on unqualified opportunity, that's really going to impact your guys' results at the end of the month. So let's talk about that a little bit. So I want to hear your guys' mindset shift, because a lot of people in space, you know, they're dead set. Hey, in person is the way to go. In person, you can get bigger deals. You can negotiate better in person. And as I agree, you know, there's more things that you can read in an in-person appointment. I want to hear your guys' mindset shift and going over to more of a phone sales process and locking these deals up over the phone. You guys mind sharing some of that?
Yeah, so like you had mentioned, the time alone that it takes. So we had a kind of a goal around here of 10 and 2. So 10 appointments set, 2 attended every day, working 5 days a week. So if you hit those numbers, you would spend about half of your workday in the field away from the computer. Then you're scrambling back and you're trying to get your next appointment set. So it was more of a volume thing. And it worked really well last year because there was a ton of low hanging fruit. So you could go out there, swing a sledgehammer and get a lot of deals. But since about November, we've needed a process that allows us to use a scalpel, and that's what we're doing now. So we're maximizing our time. But what would happen is we would spend all this time. So acquisitions they would prospect, they would build all that massive rapport. They would get the person talked into letting us come out. We get out there, find out they may not be as motivated or qualified as we were hoping. And then they would, you would try to get an offer out. You're following up on the offer. You're getting ghosted. And emotionally, you wear a lot of that. You take that to bed with you because you've invested so much of your personal time with these people. Now we're not going through the process unless you're qualified. And even if somebody says we get all the way through it and they tell us, no, that offer doesn't work for me, we don't have as much emotionally invested it anymore. And it's okay. That is one no closer to our next yes. And that's really the mindset that we've adopted here in the office.
You know, that's actually interesting. When you talk about wearing a lot of that and taking it home with you, you know, I think if you're invested, if you're truly invested in what you do, you're going to take those types of emotions with you. And I mean, it really sucks. And I talk to our team about this all the time. It really sucks when you go to bed and you feel like you missed out on a deal. But by implementing the type of structure and sales process that you guys are using now, you know all of the controllables. You know what you need to do in order to give it 100% your best shot to lock this thing up. And I think when you go home at night, it's different because there's really two sides to this. You can go home knowing, hey, I checked every box. I did everything I possibly could have, and there's nothing else I could have done better. Right now, that's one way to feel, and that's the way we want to feel. Versus the what ifs or shoulda, coulda, was. Right? It's like, hey, what if I would have said this, or I shoulda, could have, maybe I should have said that. Right? And that is a tough place to live in these situations when you go home and you don't know if you're going to sign the deal. You're getting ghosted. You don't know why. So, I mean, that's really cool that you guys have been able to experience that. You know, you guys know the controllables now. You're laser focused on being the best you possibly can within that sales process. And now all of a sudden that's getting you guys results, but it's also making you guys sleep a little better at night too, I'm sure. Right.
Yeah.
Nice, man. So, all right. Well, how has the day-to-day changed for you guys? I know you were talking a little bit about going out to appointments and whatnot, but the day-to-day, can you elaborate a little bit on how that may have changed for you guys now?
Yeah, we used to be a bunch of like free range chickens, right? We're just all over the place, in and out. Nobody half the time knew where you were. You got away with a lot. Now we are, you know, especially with these hours. Now we're in the office. That whole 40 hours or more, we are in the office. And so now we're dealing with each other all day, every day. But there's been every week, it seems like the buzz gets a little bigger, and we're feeding off each other's energy now. It's easy coming from, you're kind of on your own island in a way. Now it's a team event, right? So you're not going to get that deal unless somebody tees it up for you. So there's a buzz that's built around that. And then when you have days where you're getting 3-4 deals, I mean, it's crazy in the office. So.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like your culture is spiraling in a good way.
Yeah. It's a lot different vibe than it was before. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that actually reminds me, a lot of people ask, hey, what are your thoughts on having a virtual company and having salespeople virtually? I mean, it's doable, and you guys have seen too, like you can lock up deals in person, which is very similar, but you guys are seeing in full effect right now the power of having everyone in the same room all day, every day. And when someone locks up a deal, you know, the other guy sees it happening. And oh, I got to one up this guy, you know? And it sounds like you guys have a great group of people and a great team in the office that's all feeding off of each other. And that's ultimately what you want to create. And it's very difficult to do that if you have a virtual team. And it sounds like it's very difficult to do even if you have people going out to the in-person appointments.
Yeah, it is. It's more, it's just way more work because everybody feels like they're on their own. I mean, because really you are, especially when you're doing it in person. The way we were doing it before, it worked because the people that we had doing it just worked tirelessly. So, I mean, it doesn't work at scale. Not to say that it doesn't. I mean, you can always hire those people, but that's not reality, you know. So basically, from now on, we're going to take Elon Musk's approach. The first 40 hours of the work week has to be at the office. Any more than that, you can work at home.
Yeah, I know. I love it. Now, it's really cool to see that too. Ultimately, that's going to give you guys a leg up when it comes to recruiting for more talent. Yeah. People want to be a part of an organization that's winning. They want to feel good and be excited to come into work. People are willing to trade off a monetary paycheck for more of an emotional paycheck these days. Right. You guys can market your culture and get people excited to come in and work with you guys and be a part of a team that's winning like you guys are. That's a huge leg up.
Right. Before, it's all been on me. So I would have a lot of people, and I'm sure you guys do too, people that are they just want to be a part because they see you're winning and they want to be a part of it. You know, that's how Drew came on a couple years ago. You know, he came on and he stuck it out when it sucked and all that stuff. Not for anything. I mean, for all, intents and purposes, he must, he may as well have quit. But, he stuck it out, I think, because of the vision. He saw what the possibilities were. And I get a lot of people that do that. But if you bring those same people in that are drawn in by you, and then you plug them into a system and then step back, because I'm not involved in most of the day to day, but then you plug them in and then you step back, you're no longer a part of it. So they're no longer drawn to you anymore. So not that they're not drawn to you, but you're not the big thing that's holding them there. So all the extra buzz in the office, that's really good at holding people there. So.
Well, Drew, it sounds like you're doing an awesome job, man, and creating that culture too in that environment, which is critical for someone in a leadership position. So hats off to you, because it sounds like things are going really well. Well, one last thing I just want to ask you guys here before we hop off, for someone who's looking to take that next step, take their organization from that 4 to 6 deal mark and really invest into the company, what word of advice would you have for them when it comes to taking their business to that next level and really magnify their results?
It's pretty simple. It's just listen. Like, as simple and dumb as it sounds, I think we all have this bit of arrogance about us, especially as entrepreneurs and business owners and whatever, that I can figure it out. I can do it. I've actually got a sign in my office that says "Figure it out," because that's what I'm good at. But that's not a scalable. It's not a scalable thing. So if you think you're going to come in and take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit, you're just asking for trouble. So just commit and be humble. Listen. You don't know everything, and it's fine. Nobody does. But the sooner you understand that, the better off you're going to be.
Oh, dude, we're still growing today, man. By no means, though, I think I know it
every
all,
day.
right?
We all are. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's always a next level to whatever you want to do.
The moment you think you know it all is the moment in which you will die.
Yeah.
Right? You will start to regress and you will start to lose versus continuing to win and grow.
No question.
Drew, I'm curious from you, man. Any word of advice from like a sales leadership perspective?
Yeah, just simply put, be intentional and trust the process. About the best way I can phrase it.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, hey, I appreciate you hopping on here and taking some time out of your day. Really cool to see you guys literally triple your results in less than 30 days already. And the beautiful thing is, man, we're just getting started.
It's just getting started. You should hear him on the phone. I was cringing at the beginning when I was like, I got to go. I'm leaving. Just let it go.
Well, it's got to be getting better now, right?
I know, it totally is. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the first week or two, it was like, oh, wow, what are we doing? It was pretty rough. But
got to get the reps in, man. You ain't going to walk in on day one and bench press 350 pounds. You got to show up and consistently get better.
But it's hard as a natural, I'm just, one of my gift is like talking to people. Like, that's what I do really well. So I'm good at figuring out, what makes people tick and all that stuff. So for me, on the other side of the phone, just listening to, I'm like, if you just would have said like this, and then, you know what I'm saying? So that's what makes it difficult. So, but like I said, step back and just listen. Like Drew said, trust the process.
Well put.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Well, again, I appreciate y'all hopping on here. I think you guys had some great words of wisdom here, and excited to continue to work with you guys. And like I said, we're just getting started, and hopefully we could triple what you guys have been able to do to this point over the next 5 months and thereon and so forth. So, man, I hope you guys are crushing it this week. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Everyone who tuned in, appreciate y'all hopping on. We'll catch you guys next time for our next Student Spotlight.